Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. Do-it-yourselfers, listen up. Before you start your next project, visit A.G. Hines Company in downtown Knoxville on Hines Street, appropriately enough. For more than a century, they've had all the building materials and tools you need. The big construction companies trust them. You should too. Great prices. A.G. Hines Company. You can learn more at aghines.com. And again, they are located downtown Knoxville on Hines Street. All right, we're back with Tim Owens, Vince Ferrara, Chuck Cavaleris, Bob Hodge. Josh Heupel is not at the podium over there at UT yet. They have finished up their scrimmage. So when he comes up there, tell me what you want to hear. What are you guys interested in? I mean, for me, it's about who was active today. Elijah Simmons, did he get on the field? Kamal Hadden, my guess is he didn't. He's missed a lot of time. At some point, it's a worry that a guy who's projected to be one of your top corners, if not your top corner, isn't being able to step on the field. More a hamstring issue, which could haunt him all year. We know how those hamstring issues are for wide receivers and corners. I want to see if Simmons and Hadden were on the field. Anything stand out to you, Vince, that you're looking forward that you want to hear Heupel talk about today?
Yeah, turnovers. I want to know if this defense is creating turnovers because they only had one last week. Jeremy Banks had a really nice interception that we saw in the flat. Offense protecting the football if you're only turning it over one time, but the defense is going to be pretty key for this year for them to create more turnovers. So I want to see if that happened. And then were there balls on the ground? You know, there's been times, I think this camp much better in terms of catching the ball. Running backs a couple of drops here and there, but overall want to hear that they had a good clean day and maybe somebody separated in that competition behind Tillman.
Receivers had a couple of drops last week, supposedly in the scrimmage. So
I want to. Is somebody going to separate themselves with the running backs?
Yeah.
That's kind of, you know, I know Small's probably the go-to guy right now. And last year I thought he was fine, but I think to be a 10-2 type football team and you all seem to think, I think you're going to have somebody who has got to be better than fine. And do you have that on this team? So that's kind of what I'm
hair is fine. To use the old George Carlin line.
Here's what I'm looking at. You got so many new faces in that secondary. You got some guys that have been there. But guys, last year you ranked 99th in the country in total defense. And if you don't fix that defense, you're not going to go 10-2. If your defense is not a lot better, you gave up 97 plays of 20 or more yards. You got to lock that down. And to me, that's a lot of that's in the secondary.
Willie Martinez said this week that he wants to play a lot of guys there. He's looking to he wants 5 corners and 5 safeties, and he wants to play 3 or 4 corners, 3 or 4 safeties per game. And then you're talking about the same thing at your nickelback, your star thing. I don't know if they got that many bodies, do they, Tim?
I mean, as Vince said in the break, they have that many bodies, but how many of them are ready to play?
Right.
You know, in the SEC, teams are throwing the ball a lot now. And so, I mean, they're going to get tested. They're going to get tested all season long.
Yeah, they have 16 scholarship defensive backs, and so a number of them are fairly highly rated. And Willie Martinez, when he talked to the media this week, I thought he was pretty positive about a lot of guys when he was asked about them individually. Question is do you have SEC caliber talent and ability that's ready to go right now? They've been rotating 1s, 2s, and 3s a lot. Was there any clarity here? And real quick to what Bob was saying about the running backs, that kind of connects to what you were saying in terms of availability, because Jalen Wright hasn't really been full go all that much. He put on some extra weight. He's explosive, one of the faster guys, but what was he able to do?
That's another question. If Heupel ever gets to the podium, and he's now 7 minutes late, it wouldn't surprise me if UT didn't sit there and say, Pennington thinks he's taking it live. Go have a Coke. Just kill your time. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But another question is, how many carries did Lynn J. Dixon get today in this scrimmage?
Yeah.
Because last week he had just arrived, didn't know the offense. He really didn't do a lot. Did they give him many carries? A lot of people look at that saying, oh, he's from Clemson, he'll be great. It's like he didn't exactly carry the ball a lot at Clemson.
No, you have 1,400 yards in 3+ years and 13 touchdowns. So, like, he got it a little bit, and he got it around the end zone, but he was never the bell cow back there. And I talked to Jabari Small before the season, and he's put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, and he feels like he can be a 23 to 25 carry back this season, whereas maybe last year he wasn't ready for that, even though he told me he played 70 plays in the Ole Miss game.
He was banged up a fair amount too, so that kept him from being able to have more of those carries. But some of what Lyn-J Dixon may get in the scrimmage may depend on how much Jalen Wright was available and what he could do.
And you wonder too, with all this heat and humidity we've had, is the offensive line in game day shape? I mean, you got 330-pound guys out there at the fastest tempo in the country. All right, you got guys that are going to be able to hold up, keep them out at the positions they play best.
Well, and the left tackle battle is also something that
exactly.
We may find out about, today, tomorrow, whenever they get to the podium. Tell you what, let's go ahead and catch a break. We'll just throw out the plan for the rest of the show. We'll do what we do, and if he keeps up and speaks, we'll go to it. If he doesn't, we got a show to do with lots of information for you. I'm tired of vamping for this, so let's stop killing time and just get the hell into it. Come on back on the Sports Source.